The bill is passed, and without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
So the bill is about releasing unclassified records and documents from the DOJ on Epstein, but what exactly does that even cover? Are we talking flight logs, client lists, victim statements, or just some watered-down summaries? What's the real scope on how much damning information might actually drop?
This could be a very massive amount of data and information that is given to the public. It could be 50,000 pages, 100,000 pages. It could be more. And it's going to look like an amoeba. It's not really going to have a shape or a form. And what the legislation does is it lists out about 9 different sections or types of documents. And within those, there's probably a good 40 descriptions of documents that have to be given over. And that includes flight logs, travel records, manifests, itineraries, government immunity deals, plea deals, government memoranda, civil settlements, immunity deals, plea arrangements, and anything and everything that you can think of is going to be a part of this file. So that's one of the challenges, is to make sure that somebody at the Department of Justice isn't playing games with it, isn't looking at it and saying, well, nanny, it didn't say this, so we're going to withhold this document. This is a very, very broad and all-encompassing request for documents, and it's going to be hard for anybody really at the Department of Justice to deny that this was asked for.
Right. You wonder if they'll play games. Redactions are going to be part of this, is what many people think. How much power does the DOJ have to actually black out names, details, or entire sections under excuses like national security, protecting victims' privacy, or even calling stuff pornographic to keep it sealed? And who is deciding that? Is it all roads lead to Pam Bondi?
Right. So the Act really tries its best to deal with these things ahead of time. And yes, there's probably going to be a whole lot of redactions. But the way that those are handled is that, first off, it is very specific in this Act that if the concern is embarrassment or reputational harm or political sensitivity, those are not valid reasons to redact somebody's name under this Act. And not only that, if they're going to block things for legal purposes, for legal investigations, the Act is very clear that that's a temporary block. Also, that the DOJ has to very narrowly construe other types of information, other types of privileges, national defense or something like that. Also, there's a lot of information about that you're going to see redacted that says victim information, identifiable things, social security numbers, things like that. Also pornographic images, whether that is sexual abuse images of children or adults, images of death, images of harm, those types of things can be redacted. But it's important to note, Paul, that the way that the statute deals with it is that the government has 30 days, the DOJ has 30 days to produce all of this in a PDF searchable by the public, and any redactions they have to do, they're explaining within 15 days of its release. So in 45 days, they have to detail and discuss what was redacted, and they have to state why.
Jeremy, I know you have had a huge career. You've seen a lot of different kind of complicated cases. What does your gut tell you? Do you think we're going to get the unvarnished, ugly truth here, or will this kind of stay half buried? And is there any mechanics of accountability here to make sure this doesn't stay a dark secret that hangs over the American public?
I think that what we're going to get is a lot of information, and we're going to get a lot of data overload here. And I think that this is the Epstein file is going to be a blank canvas, frankly, that says more about Americans than it does the Epstein file, because people are going to go and they're going to look for the villain that they hate the most to see if that villain is in the files, and then they're going to kind of run down rabbit trails and sort of see what sort of conspiracy theories are out there related to that. You would think that this information, a lot of it is extremely old and has been in the possession of the government for so long. You would think and you would hope that if there's actionable evidence and information, that whoever's in there will have already been brought to justice. But what I suspect we're going to see are a bunch of trails that might not necessarily lead anywhere specific.
I guess people will see what they want to see in this, and we'll just have to wait and see ourselves. Jeremy Rosenthal, as always, thank you for your insight.